Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Mind Doctor. Today is a very, very important message that I need to deliver. Adults really pay attention to this message because it's something you have to deliver to your kids and your family. I want to start off by telling a story that happened yesterday with my daughter, my oldest daughter, which she is 16. She walked to the store yesterday with my son, and my son is younger than her. You know, he's 13 years old. But it was daytime. It was sunny outside. It was cars everywhere. It's a main street that she walked down where there's people all out. She was walking and she seen a guy in a van ride past her. Now, when the guy rode past her, she noticed that he was like staring at her, staring so hard to the point to where he was looking behind him, driving forward to stare at her. She kept her eye on the van, and he went all the way down the street. She continued to walk. So when she got to the store, she noticed that the van was already parked in the driveway of the store. She seen the man standing at the door of the store. She walked in the store. As she walked in, the man came in behind her and followed her down 3 aisles. So she knew exactly what she wanted out of the store, but when she seen the guy behind her, she made it a point to just walk down different aisles to try to get him to stop following her, and he continued to follow her. So I guess after about the 4th aisle, he realized what she was doing. So then he walked off and got something. Like he got something after, like he was about to buy it. Well, he took it up to the front to buy it. So she noticed that as he was doing that, he kept looking at her. So she immediately called me. Now I was maybe about 20 miles away from her, handling some business. Well, no, I was about 10 miles away from her handling some business, but she told me that he kept staring at her while she was in the store. So she grabbed the thing she wanted, walked to the front. As she was walking to the front, he was walking from the register going out of the store. She noticed that he stared at her, continued to stare at her. She turned around and looked. Before he walked out the door, he was still staring at her. And he gave her a long, hard stare, she said, before he walked out the store. So I told her to just stay in the store, do not leave out the store. I told her to call the police and tell them everything she just told me. So I got in my car and was zooming back to where she was. But I did tell her to stay in the store. So, you know, she called the police, and in the process of me speeding down to the store she was at, the police did come before me. She called me back, and when I got there, she called me back and told me that she was talking to the police. The police was there. So I rushed down there. When I got to the store, you know, I said, hey, to the police or whatever, and they talked to her for another minute, got the description, got the van. She remembered the license plate, got the license plate. I told them thank you for their time. So she did finish telling me the story, which is once the guy went outside and she was in the store, she noticed that he sat in his van after buying what he bought. He sat in the van for about 2 or 3 minutes. She said, just sitting there. She said he pulled off. About 4 minutes went past. He came back into the driveway of the gas station. Parked with his van pointed towards the front door. So he's parked down, but he had his van pointed towards the front door to where he could see exactly when someone comes out. Sat there for another 2 or 3 minutes. This is all while I'm on my way there that this happened. And after 2 or 3 more minutes of sitting, he pulled off again, she noticed. And then she seen him another 4 minutes, 3 minutes after that, she seen him circle around, come back down the same street. So, like I said, he eventually pulled off before the police got there. So I picked my daughter up and I went home and I talked to her about the situation. We got to be careful out here. we as adults, and we have to tell our kids to be very careful out here, because we know um, human trafficking. We know it's real. It's been going on for years. We know kids come up missing every day. Um, we know we I don't even want to name, but we know what happens in the world we live in. The message I have today is it's very important for us to tell our kids and express to them the importance of being focused and being aware of where they are every day. Every day I see kids that's into their cell phone. They're walking down the street facing to their cell phone, not paying attention to any surroundings. I see it all the time. And every time I see it, I talk to my kids about that. That's one of the most dangerous things in the world, because you have to be aware of what's going on around you. That way you'll be able to catch things. What I think the guy was trying to do, it's sad to say, but we live in a world where things can happen. From it being daytime, broad daylight, I stay by a big street, so I really don't think he was going to try to actually grab my daughter then, even though they do that sometime in broad daylight. My son was walking with her. I don't really think he was going to try to do that then, but what I think he was going to do is try to follow her home and see what she stays at. What other reason would he have to all of the things he did pointed to the directions of him being a pedophile and him having something on his mind. So for him to wait outside the gas station for her and to be looking at her in the store and following her, that all points to dangerous things. So I think, maybe he was just a pedophile. He just was looking at my daughter. That's sick. That's sad. But outside of that, I think that he might have been trying to follow her home. Maybe just, to see where she live at for who knows what reason. When these pedophiles strike out here and when kids get kidnapped, we don't know what leads up to that. We don't know if it's somebody that's been watching the kids for a while. We don't know if somebody studied the pattern of what the kids do every day. But we know that kids come up missing every day. We know that. We know that human trafficking is real. So with my daughter, I'm not sure what he had on his mind, if he was going to try to do something in broad daylight or if he was just going to, follow her home to see where she live at. But what I do know is there was something going on with him. So we need to teach our kids the importance of being focused on where they are at all times and being aware of what's going on. Because I see so many kids, especially the days we live in now, so many kids are on their phone 24/7 at bus stops. And this has been for years. Like me taking my kids to school, picking them up from school. I see so many kids early in the morning sometime. I'll be taking my kids to school. It's still dark outside. I see a kid at the bus stop just on their phone. It's still dark. All you see is the light from the cell phone in their face. They're looking like that. Even a couple of times I've seen kids with headphones on. And the main thing I point out to my kids when I used to see it was like, look at that. That's so dangerous. Because not only is it early, but it's still dark outside. And they're impairing themselves from seeing or hearing any potential thing that's dangerous. One time I was taking my daughters to school and I seen a girl walking down the street, where it was a side street at that, down the street with her backpack on. And while she's walking, she's looking down. It's dark outside. While she's walking, she's looking down, facing her phone. And all you can see in the midst of the darkness of that morning, all you could see on that side street where it's hardly no traffic, all you could see was the girl in the face shining, the screen shining her face. And she had white earplugs on, walking down the street like that. And I told my daughters, that's so dangerous, because we all know if you in a dark room, or the room don't even have to be that dark, but if it's not lit up, if it's kind of dark or all the way dark, and you're on your phone or on your computer and the light shining in your face, you can't see nothing in your peripheral. It's dark. So just imagine, and then imagine you're topping that with putting earplugs in your ear. So you can't see or hear. That's the most dangerous thing in the world. And I've seen girls, and kids, boys and stuff. I've seen them do that in times where they should be focused completely on what's going on outside. So we have to tell our kids, we have to preach to them, because the thing is, you don't want to be that type of parent to think it can't happen to me or it won't happen to me or my kid. My kid is aware. No, we don't want to take no chances like that. You don't want to take a chance on your kid getting kidnapped or your kid getting harmed in any type of way. You don't want to take that chance, because once it happens, there's no going back, no turning back. We want to make sure our kids know the most important thing is being focused and aware of what's going on. We don't want to take no chances with our kids' life. Tell them the importance of that phone. It's nothing in our phone that's so important to where your child needs to be or could possibly put themselves in the danger of being kidnapped or hurt in some type of way. And that's a real thing that's going on every day. As technology continues to get better, and the more things that these kids have on their phone, the more and more they're into their phone more than anything else. You have kids standing on their own block to come up missing, or a kid walking home from school, you don't hear from her, and that comes from it's kids that get kidnapped that don't have a phone on them and stuff. So just imagine if you have a phone on you and you're on it and you got earplugs in. Imagine how easy it is to be distracted from what's going on out here. That's something that's very important. This is probably the most important message that I have delivered so far. And also the same thing for adults. If some of you don't have cars, don't have vehicles, and you catch, men and women, but you don't have vehicles and you still catch the bus, or you get out, you still walk down some of these streets, going home nighttime or going to your friend's house, whatever. If you're still out late and you're walking, riding a bike, or just getting out your car, going into your house, getting out your car, going to a friend's house, anything, you have to be aware of what's going on around you. You have to be focused on what's going on around you, because grown women come up missing too. Grown men come up missing too. We see it every day on the news, and they don't report every missing case. They don't report every single one. That's another thing too. So we have to be very focused and aware of what's going on around us. Have to, and even these adults, the same thing. You get it, you get out your car, going into your house, you constantly looking at your phone, and somebody could come from behind your house and do something, or from behind the bush. Very, very, if you're talking about being focused and aware, think about how accidents happen. It's the same way. How many people you think that was involved in the accident from being on a text message or a video call? How many of those people actually thought that they was going to crash? Everybody thinks like, oh no, I'm good. I can text and I can drive at the same time because I know how to do it. I know how. But guess what? All these accidents that happen from people driving, texting, not paying attention, being on video calls, it happens from that exact same thing. You think you know what you're doing with it. You think you texting, can look up or be in a video call, and before you know it, you hit the back of somebody's car. So definitely consider this message. Definitely share this message with everybody that you know. Everybody that you know. We have to be careful out here. We have to be focused and aware out here what's going on. We have to teach our kids. It's our responsibility to teach our kids how to operate in this world. It's our responsibility. Don't fail yourself by failing your kid. Because if something happened to your kid, it's going to hurt you real, real bad. It's going to be so detrimental to your life that it can change your life. It's going to change your life forever. Even if you're a strong person, you're going to be changed if something happened to your kid. Your kid come up missing, your kid get raped, kidnapped. We have to teach our kids the importance of it. We have to continue to reiterate it to them every day. Kids are taken away. Their minds are taken away by this technology. It's gone. Any of us that have kids, we know this technology has taken our kids' mind away from everything. And that's a bad thing, because the more and more they're into their phones and into these websites and these chats and all this stuff, the more and more that they're distracted from reality, and that's the recipe for disaster when it comes to these pedophiles out here and these people that's kidnapping kids and stuff like that. And then when it comes to other things too, it's a recipe for disaster. So that's all I have right now on this. That's all I want to speak on when it comes to this. But my whole thing, my whole emphasis on this thing is take this message to the heart. Deliver this message to everybody you know. Be very, very careful out here. Be very careful. Be aware. Stay focused. So part of you thinking smart is to help your kids to think smart. So take this message.